What if your nosy HOA president pulled a gun on your kid, convinced she was a CIA operative spying on the neighborhood? That's the nightmare I lived last summer, crazier than any Hollywood blockbuster. I'm Rachel Bennett, a 43-year-old single mom and cybersecurity consultant, raising my prodigy daughter, Amelia, in a quiet suburban cul-de-sac. When Amelia's brilliance earned her a spot in a secret CIA program at 17, our idyllic Maple Ridge became a battlefield. Leading the charge was Patricia Langston, a disgraced ex-FBI agent with a homemade badge and a vendetta that nearly cost us everything. Maple Ridge was a suburban dream: pristine lawns, friendly cookouts, and an HOA run by Patricia, who paraded in a fake cop uniform, pins shining like she ruled the world. She'd fine you for a mailbox an inch off-center, and most neighbors complied to dodge her fury. I always sensed she was unhinged, but I didn't realize she was watching us like prey, her paranoia driven by a past she couldn't escape. Patricia was fired from the FBI 5 years ago for unauthorized snooping, and her husband, Glenn, lost his police job over corrupt deals. Now, they played sheriff in Maple Ridge, and we became their prime targets. It began when Amelia came home, barely containing her excitement. "Mom, remember my coding project for the state science fair?" she said, tossing her backpack on the counter. I nodded, recalling the encryption algorithm that stumped even me, and I've secured defense systems. She slid an envelope across the table, stamped with a government seal. Inside was an invitation to a classified CIA internship for prodigies. At 17, my daughter was recruited for national security. I was proud but terrified. What did this mean for a teenager? After a long talk, we agreed she'd take it, hoping to keep it discreet. Huge mistake. Amelia's internship was intense but thrilling. 3 afternoons a week, a black SUV picked her up from school and whisked her to a secure facility. She'd return buzzing about quantum cryptography or secure protocols, always careful not to leak secrets. Her mentor, Agent Diane Carter, a no-nonsense CIA officer, assured me Amelia was safe, just coding with real-world impact. But 2 weeks in, I noticed a car parked across the street, binoculars glinting. When I stepped outside, it sped off. I glimpsed Patricia at the wheel. Then HOA notices poured in. Garden statues were non-compliant. My curtains were the wrong shade of ivory. My trash cans were an inch too close to the curb. I checked the HOA rules. None of it was real. Patricia was fabricating violations. I thought she was just being her usual petty self, so I sent polite letters citing the rulebook. No response, just more fines. At the next HOA meeting, I tried calling her out, but Patricia shut it down, her eyes boring into me. Neighbors started avoiding me. One, a kind retiree named George Ramsey, whispered a warning: "Watch your back." Patricia hates anyone who challenges her. I got serious, installing discreet security cameras and digging into Patricia's past. Using old tech contacts, I learned she'd been fired from the FBI for accessing classified files without clearance. Glenn, her husband, was ousted from the police for corruption. They were has-beens clinging to power, and we were their new obsession. The timing wasn't random. Patricia's harassment began when Amelia's internship started. She must have spotted the government SUV or overheard something that set her off. With her FBI background, she likely recognized signs of classified work and let her resentment spiral. I called Agent Carter, who advised documenting everything but avoiding confrontation. Meanwhile, Glenn's car circled our block at odd hours, and our cameras caught the neighborhood's street camera pointed at our living room. Patricia was watching, and she wasn't subtle. Things turned sinister. One morning, I found a dead sparrow on our doorstep, neck snapped. Amelia was shaken, but I was livid. This wasn't about HOA rules. It was a threat. I reported it to Officer Mark Sullivan, a local cop who seemed sympathetic, but said without proof. His hands were stuck. "The Langstons are slippery," he admitted. "Keep records." So I upgraded our cameras to night vision and motion sensors, backed up data to a secure cloud, and locked down our Wi-Fi. Then, during a CIA training session, my phone pinged motion inside our house. The camera feed showed Patricia and Glenn, dressed in black, sneaking in with a bump key. They rifled through drawers, photographed Amelia's desk, and plugged a device into her decoy laptop, empty, just for show. I called the cops and Carter. By the time we got home, they were gone, but they'd left a listening device behind our router. I kept it there to feed them lies. That break-in changed me. I wasn't just a mom anymore. I was a warrior. Patricia had invaded our home, threatened my kid. I was done playing defense. Carter had a plan: give Patricia fake intel to unravel her. We crafted dummy CIA documents about a fictional investigation into neighborhood threats, hinting Amelia was involved. George, a retired prosecutor, joined the trap. His legal clout was perfect. I accidentally let Glenn overhear a staged call about Amelia's progress identifying suspects. That night, I hacked the neighborhood's camera system, child's play for me, and watched Patricia lose it in her living room, now a war room with maps, photos of us, and surveillance logs. She ranted to her HOA cronies, claiming Amelia was a CIA operative targeting her. "This is an illegal operation," she screamed, ordering 24/7 surveillance and to stonewall any feds. She was breaking laws, and we had her on tape. We kept the pressure on, leaving classified papers visible through windows and whispering near the bug. Carter sent flashier government cars for Amelia, and I dropped vague hints on our landline. By Saturday, Patricia was a wreck, pacing her house, pulling a gun from a safe. I alerted Carter and Sullivan she was armed and unstable. Sunday morning, we set the final trap. Amelia walked out at 9:30, wearing her CIA intern badge, carrying a briefcase stamped classified. George timed his morning walk to pass by. Right on cue, Patricia burst from the bushes in her fake uniform, gun drawn, shouting, "Stop! Security!" Amelia froze, hands up, as Patricia waved the pistol, yelling about espionage. My heart stopped, but I was dialing 911 and texting Carter, watching from the window. Amelia stayed calm, showing her badge. "I'm a CIA intern, ma'am. This is authorized." Patricia scoffed. "Fake. Open the briefcase." When Amelia refused, Patricia grabbed her arm. I stormed out, phone recording. "Drop the gun, Patricia. You're committing felonies." Glenn appeared, hand on his holster, and things got tense until George stepped in, voice commanding. "As a former prosecutor, I'm telling you, lower that weapon or you're facing assault and impersonation charges." Patricia's eyes were feral, accusing us of targeting her. Neighbors peeked out, some filming. She yelled at them to back off, claiming authority. Then Carter rolled up, flashing her CIA badge. "Federal agent, stand down." Patricia, panicking, swung the gun at her, a real Fed. That's when Sullivan and two cops swooped in, weapons drawn. "Drop it now." Patricia rambled about her jurisdiction, but Sullivan wasn't having it. When she lowered the gun to lecture the crowd, he disarmed and cuffed her, while his team grabbed Glenn. Her gun was loaded, unregistered. They were hauled off, charged with impersonating officers, illegal firearms, assault, and interfering with a federal agency. Neighbors were stunned. Many thought Patricia was legit. Carter confirmed Amelia's CIA status, and as Patricia was shoved into a cruiser, she screamed about saving Maple Ridge. Glenn stayed silent, finally getting it. Neighbors confessed how Patricia had blackmailed them, DUIs, medical records, anything to keep them quiet. She'd ruled by fear, and we'd exposed her. The police raid on Patricia's house was chilling. Her spare room was a spy den with unauthorized cameras, guns, stolen police gear, and journals detailing every neighbor's secrets. She'd siphoned $100,000 from the HOA for her gadgets and fake uniforms. Her computer held evidence of kickbacks and fake fines that forced one family to sell. Worse, Encrypted drives showed she had puppets in other HAs, ex-cops with grudges feeding her intel on government workers. She was peddling data to foreign buyers, targeting neighborhoods near federal sites like Maple Ridge. The FBI and CIA had been watching, but our evidence sealed her fate. Patricia and Glenn were hit with espionage charges on top of the rest, locked away for years. Maple Ridge rebuilt. We voted in a new HOA with real oversight, and I joined the board. Amelia finished her internship, earned a scholarship, and became a school legend, though she keeps her CIA work hush-hush. Carter checks in, joking about neighborhood security. We threw a festival, kids laughing, no fines for noise. Families hit by Patricia's scams got help from a community fund, and some who'd fled returned. I consult for the CIA now, advising on how cons hide dirty schemes. Patricia's trial was a spectacle. She called herself a patriot, but the judge shut her down. There's no such thing as a neighborhood dictator, Mrs. Langston. Sweetest words I ever heard. Looking back, it's wild how our sleepy suburb turned into a spy saga. The real shock wasn't Patricia's gun or her espionage ring, it was how many neighbors lived scared, silenced by her dirt. If your HOA's acting shady, don't take it. Document, dig, fight. One mom and her kid took down a wannabe dictator. You can, too.